And for more on the crackdown, we turn to immigration attorney Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch. She's in Texas. Kate, great having you. Second, Hyundai's plant is a flagship project, right? It's a top-tier company, and many in their staff seem to have not been compliant with immigration law, or so say federal authorities. How compliant are high-profile businesses around the country?
It varies. Many and most are compliant, and I've read some of the reports. I don't have any clients that were swept up in the Georgia raids, but I have seen some of the reports, and DHS themselves have admitted that they arrested U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and I've heard from my colleagues who had clients on valid visas who were swept up in the raids. So it's a curious raid. I wonder if it was politically motivated, and it does seem to be very swiftly and somewhat carelessly carried out, in that people with legal status were detained.
I see. So would compliant employees in this raid, as you say, they would eventually not end up deported, right? Because they were actually compliant. They should not have any run-ins with the law.
Right. So what we see when we have these sort of sloppy or indiscriminate actions by DHS, maybe it's at a raid or a targeted enforcement with collateral arrests, is that people who shouldn't be detained, who are in legal status, get detained. And when the officers don't slow down and pause before they arrest someone, what happens is people who shouldn't be arrested end up getting arrested. And how long it takes to right that wrong really differs. Sometimes it can happen within hours, but sometimes people can be weeks in detention when they shouldn't have ever been detained at all. And we've been seeing that in various states all over the country since January.
Kate, I'd like to get a better picture of what legal challenges could be brought against these kind of policies.
There are lots of legal challenges that can and will be brought against these raids. If there's deployment in Chicago, as we heard, there will be legal challenges. But also when someone is swept up and their constitutional rights are violated under the Fourth Amendment or the Fifth Amendment, that individual can bring a complaint. They can bring habeas petitions. They can bring complaints about their human rights being violated against the agents who have targeted them in some cases. And I do encourage anyone who has been the victim of racial profiling or unconstitutional arrests to stand up for yourselves and to reach out to a civil rights attorney or an organization like the ACLU and talk to them about what has happened to you, because we do need to stand up and push back against these illegal arrests and detentions that are going on around the country. And I know that people are afraid to say anything, but it is these legal challenges that will start to turn this around, in my opinion.
And how is this crackdown affecting businesses, especially in industries that rely on immigrant labor?
Immigrants are really tired of living under siege. I'm an immigration lawyer in Texas, and I talk to people every day, and many good people who don't have criminal history and have a legal status are very tired of living like this, and they're leaving. So people are being detained and they're self-deporting. And we start to feel it early in the industries that you might expect, like hospitality, healthcare, construction, landscaping. But the thing to keep in mind is that immigrants work in every sector, and when people don't want to come to the United States to study here or to open a business here or to innovate or work in STEM, we start to feel this impact over all of our sectors and our economy overall. And that's why studies have come out to say that for the first time since the Great Depression, we have net negative immigration. And the Trump administration will tout that as a success, but that's actually not good news for us. That's pretty bad news for our economy. And we're starting to see it in construction jobs and in different areas. If you look around the country, agriculture and construction, medical, the medical field, they're already suffering, and it's only going to get worse if these crackdowns continue.
Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, thank you for your time and insight.